In the first video of this series I explained how it came that I compete against my former alliance all by myself. I had set myself a clear goal: grow and close the gaps between my bases. Of course, I picked the easiest opponents first, because now it was a matter of being really fast. My opponents had smashed their units against my bases just before, but they would quickly get more units from other maps. So I didn't have much time to take some bases mostly undisturbed. With each captured base, my group limit would grow.
Das war wirklich viel zu einfach.
Currently, I was still limited to 22 groups. That is not enough to take well-built bases alone. No sooner has the base fallen than SVG Smoke comes and wants to take it from me. But Big Red One is still not focused on me. Maybe they have more battles on other maps, and they certainly didn't expect any resistance on a map that was actually conquered completely. In any case, SVG Smoke only comes with 2 groups of BRDM2. I can counter that well. The capture of the just destroyed base is not endangered by this. Rooster had already left the alliance in dispute before the merger of Doomdragon with Big Red One and joined Faust. After an initial defiant reaction, he had long since become inactive. I suspect that Big Red One assumes that it would take a similar course with me. Then I will now give expression to the defiant phase and take as many bases as possible.
Wir sind einfach zu schwach.
Rooster's base also helps me to do this. The base of Kirk 6 is no real challenge either. In my less active time before this conflict, I had built a group of T-55 every now and then. After all, you can get up to 10 a day heavily discounted. These groups put quite a strain on my group limit. However, they still suffice as cannon fodder when taking these bases. None of these bases was really well developed. For a long time it was a peaceful map on which you only had to take care of an inactive player from time to time. Since there was no danger, not much was invested in these bases.
Die dachten wohl nicht wirklich, dass sie gegen uns eine Chance hatten.
Taurus is one of the strong players in Big Red One. Taking a base from him has the added advantage of weakening my opponent. These attacks against bases without flags are all very quick. My problem is more the shortage of concrete. I got the 90 million resources once, but they were used up immediately. Unfortunately, you only can do that every 3 days.
Das war wirklich viel zu einfach.
Skipper 2 is an inactive Doomdragon player. He himself is unlikely to fight back, but I'm constantly on guard against possible attacks from the Big Red One alliance. Actually, they should be able to see exactly what is going on here through the side towers of their neighboring bases. With the capture of the Taurus base at the latest, they should be motivated enough to take active action. Of course, I am happy to be able to expand unhindered for the time being. I'm making the most of the time. Once again, Big Red 1 has waited until I have destroyed the defense towers before attacking me. Alacran, the leader of Big Red 1, arrives with helicopters. He was never actually on this map before. It looks like he was given a base here so that he could fight me. What an honor for me.
Oh, das tut mir jetzt aber leid.
In this first battle, however, he can't do much. My air defenses of Strelas and BRDM-2 quickly deal with a few cheap helicopters. Squeezer had already been inactive for so long that he has been removed from the Doom Dragon Alliance by the system. His base is also a welcome target. Slowly my settlement area is growing together.
Wir sind einfach zu schwach. Basis erobert.
This is a very important prerequisite for being able to actively defend an attacked base. As an aside, my home base turned up in the most impossible places, which was mostly not very helpful for bringing cheap units to the battlefield from here. Once, while exploring the neighborhood, I saw a base of the Doom Dragon player Rick without flags and only 4 defense towers. I immediately captured this base with what a home base can produce. It happened so fast that I even forgot to record about it. I would hardly be able to actively defend this isolated base. However, it would already be a great success if they wore out a lot of material during an attack, and I would thus have peace in the south for longer. The player Art of War upgraded her base above my only helicopter base to level 7. This base now has maximum range and destroys every helicopter produced in my helicopter base while it is still rising in the tower. So I can't build any more helicopters. That is bitter. So next I attack a base of the Big Red 1 player Ferret 707, even though it has flags, thus 5 times the armor. With my still modest group limit and without the possibility of getting support from other players, I have to give everything to be able to take such a base. Ferret 707 is one of the players who sent all his units against my bases at the beginning. I therefore have every reason to expect active resistance here, but many defensive groups do not fit into my group limit. In the attack, I also let the actual defense troops, i.e. my BRDM-2, fire on the base. They are not base killers, but at the moment anything that can do damage helps me. My calculations have shown that my cannon fodder should be enough if I show full deployment. The base's well-armored defense towers are falling slowly. The battle drags on. Not only does this cost a lot of cannon fodder, but with every second the risk increases that the opponent might express his displeasure at my attempts to capture the base. Then Art of War actually arrives with 2 groups of helicopters. My BRDM-2 should be able to fend this off well. I just have to make sure that they don't shoot at the defense towers, but really hit the helicopters. Then the helicopters are quickly destroyed. But there are still 5 defense towers with flags. Again, I let all units fire at the base, so also BRDM-2 and my helicopters. I have to be quick before my opponents bring in more troops. But since the jamming attack had destroyed many of my AML-60s, the cannon fodder was not enough. Under no circumstances did I want to interrupt this attack. So now the expensive BRDM-2s also have to serve as cannon fodder. Fortunately, the last defense tower alone does not do much damage. But now I am particularly vulnerable to disruptive attacks. I put all my eggs in one basket. With each hit of my 2S7 Howitzers, the defense tower loses 3%. In between, the other units do about 1% damage per second. It's a drag. I will never know how many troops have been on their way from other maps or at the highway of this map.
Die dachten wohl nicht wirklich, dass sie gegen uns eine Chance hatten.
When my APC enters the base, I am very relieved.
Basis erobert.
I can build helicopters again from now on. This is an important milestone that I was able to reach today. Now I see myself much better positioned for the expected big attack of my opponents. But will that be enough? Or will I succumb to the mighty superiority of my 50 opponents in the end? That's what we'll see in the next episodes of this series.